As the winter swells descend from the Gulf of Alaska onto Maui's North Shore, two surfers apprehensively prepare to leave their homes on Hawaii and travel to Scotland in search of new waves. For Shane Dorian and Albie Layer, it's not homesickness that creates this hesitation. It's the fear that in being gone, they might miss one of the few great swells at Jaws, the wave that has defined their careers. For the young luminary Albie Layer, and even a legend like Shane Dorian, an exploratory trip with prodigious filmmaker Taylor Steele is a chance they'll take. Follow surfing's greatest athletes as they embark on a journey in pursuit of the intangible. Tracking swells around the globe, exploring untapped locations, and immersing themselves in the world around them.
There you go.
All in search of that pinnacle moment of sport. An ideal existence in search of a life in proximity. Taylor Steele has spent the past 2 decades making his mark on the surf industry, producing some of his generation's most renowned films.
Yeah, it's going to be cold water. Might be, low 50s.
Today, from his home in New York, he prepares for the first trip of the Proximity Project, intending on documenting unique pairings of surfing's best, creating a character study of the sport's greatest talent.
Proximity is about having two guys that are equal going on a trip together. I met Shane when we were 17. He was just trying to make it as a pro surfer, and I was just trying to make it as a filmmaker. That's 25 years ago that we've been working together.
Winner of 12 XXL Big Wave Awards, his 25-year career is filled with many of the sport's greatest moments. And now at 43 years old, Shane shows no sign of slowing down, taking last year's Ride of the Year for a massive barrel at Jaws.
I really just love to surf. My focus is chasing big waves around, and anything intense where you're really pushing yourself and challenging yourself, those are the sort of sessions and waves that I'm going to remember for a long time.
The concept of proximity is having two surfers that are at the top of the game that feed off each other and be able to relate to each other in a way that no one else can relate. And when I was talking to Shane about who sort of, his equivalent in the next generation, he's like, Albie, it's a no-brainer.
Taylor Steele gave me $100,000 once.
We did this competition called Intersection, and Albie submitted his video online and won $100,000.
I had a decent amateur thing going, but it all kind of ended and then didn't pick back up until the Intersection thing.
His career reignited by an incredible performance in his submission for Intersection. Albie Layer has gone from a kid who was riding Jaws at 15 to the kid riding it at 24. The first to land an alley-oop 540, Albie has made a mark in both the freestyle and big wave world as one of today's most aggressive surfers.
Albie Layer, your leader right now, and again, we are looking into the pit.
The reason I like surfing the heavier or bigger waves is because it becomes this thing you kind of get addicted to, just to see how far you can push it or what waves are rideable that people thought weren't rideable.
Albie and Shane will continue their search for the ocean's heaviest waves in the icy waters of Scotland. Their immersion into this new environment, affecting their perceptions of the world as much as their time spent together and the waves they'll ride. For Albie, this trip is an opportunity to get to know one of his heroes, bonding on a different level than that created just by the intensity of surfing big waves together.
Gloves are coming off.
With more than 2 decades between them, their shared desire to push big wave surfing into the performance surfing realm has brought Shane and Albie to Scotland, where finding a wave that will allow them to explore their true potential is far from a certainty. For Albie and Shane, Finding a barreling slab heavy enough to intimidate them justifies their continued search for that pinnacle moment in surfing. The challenge of riding the best wave of their lives, an unachievable goal glimpsed in moments like these, where unfathomable experiences stoke the wonder of what exists in this world still to be discovered. Having by chance come across what they have come to Scotland to find is a reward that is not lost on Albie and Shane. Their contentment surfing a wave of this intensity that has likely never been ridden before sets them firmly back on their path in search of even more severe slabs as they continue to explore the north coast of Scotland.
Surfing a dangerous wave is what gets me going more than anything else.